Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, we're going to be talking about my death predictions for Season 5 of Stranger Things. I know I've heard a lot of names being thrown out there, a lot of main characters' names being thrown out there, and today I'm going to be discussing who I think is going to potentially die in Season 5. But before I get into it, I do want to say that, there's no really way that anybody can tell who's actually going to die right now. There's not really any hardcore evidence besides maybe one person, and that person's in the background of my screen. But this is obviously just a prediction, just a feeling, I guess. These are just theories at the end of the day, because anybody who has any death predictions doesn't actually know if they're going to die or not. They just came up with theory on how they're going to die or why they would die. But yeah, guys. Before I discuss who's going to die, make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe, turn on notifications. Can we go for 100 likes? I have said these outrageous like goals. I've looked back at my videos. I'm like, why did I say that high of like goal? Can we go for 100? All you have to do is just tap the like button. Just real quick. 3 seconds. I would really appreciate that. That helps me out a ton. I'm really trying to make this a sustainable career. And not a career with a bunch of ups and downs like it has been the last 2 years. But I appreciate you guys regardless. But anyways, let's get right into it. So who do I think is going to die in Season 5? So I think there's going to be 3 main characters who I think are going to die. And when I say main, I'm not talking about the 3 of the 5 kids or whatever. I'm talking about 3 of the people who we've seen in Season 4. I guess we'll start out with the biggest one. Or no, maybe we'll start out with the smallest one, who I think is potentially going to die. I think obviously there's gonna be other people who die, but as far as out of the main characters, I'm only gonna be talking about people who I care about if they die. And one of them is Murray. one of them is Murray. And the reason I think this is just because I think it would be a good death. I think he'd die a hero. I think he'd die in a good way. But Murray's one of the funniest TV show characters I've ever seen in my life. And also, he's funny in real life as well. If you go on his Instagram, his stories are hilarious. Brett Gelman, his name is. But yeah, I think Murray's going to die. The reason being is because, he's been in Season 2, Season 3 more so, and then Season 4, he had a huge role. Everybody thought Murray was going to die in Season 4, Volume 2. Everyone was predicting Murray was going to die. He didn't die. He actually had a heroic moment. So I feel like Season 5, if they are going to kill off people, he would be one of those people to die, considering people expect him to die in Season 4, but instead he's going to die in Season 5. And there needs to be some death at the end of the show. That's just how it has to end, especially with how this war, quote-unquote war, is going on. I think it'd be a good way. I think he'd be a good person to die. I think people would be sad, but people would almost cry happy tears because of I think he'd die in another heroic moment. And honestly, Murray's character is funny and all, but he does have some I don't know, if you watch his character development, he does deeply care about everyone. So I feel like if he's in a situation to where someone else is going to die, he's going to put himself in that situation so they don't die, and he does. You know what I'm saying? So I could see Murray definitely sacrificing himself to die in Season 5. The second person is Max, of course. We don't know if she's going to die or not, but I could definitely see her potentially dying. Then again, I could see her not dying, because why would they have Elle save her if she's going to die in the end? But it could be a situation to where she comes back to life. She helps out the crew in some way, shape, or form. Maybe in one of my theories where she seeing in Vecta's mind what's going to happen, so she helps the friends. But I think if she does die, it's going to be she comes back to life, and then at the very end, she just, I don't know, something happens, complications, I don't know. I could see Max dying though, or she just never wakes up, or she just never wakes up and she ends up dying anyways. But then again, she could be one of those characters that lives it out, and because Elle did save her, so it wouldn't really make total sense to kill her, but she's there, and I don't know. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. That was just a character I threw out there. Number 3 is man, oh man, I swear on everything, if this guy dies, I'm gonna be so mad. Same with the next guy, Steve Harrington. So in season 4, a lot of people were expecting Steve to die. A lot of people were. I was expecting Steve to die, especially when the bats got him. And I was like, no, not Steve, man, not Steve, not the guy who wants to have 6 kids when he goes up and all that stuff. So I was expecting Steve to die, but he didn't. And I feel like he's just one of those characters. I'm gonna pair. I'm gonna go ahead and say my next person who too, because it goes along with Steve. Dustin. Okay. I personally think one or the other is going to die. 100%. I know that might come to a shock to most of you, throwing Dustin's name out here, but I think either Dustin or Steve is going to die. And I think it's going to be a situation to where either Steve saves Dustin or Dustin saves Steve. 2 reasons. Number 1, Steve loves Dustin like a son, like a baby brother. You know what I'm saying? He would do anything for Dustin. Dustin does not want to lose another older brother / father figure in his life. He already lost Eddie. He doesn't have a dad. He's going to do everything in his power to save Steve. And the reason I say that is because the Duffer said Dustin's character is going to change a lot in season 5, so it would make sense that he's just so broken from Eddie's death that he's not going to want to see Steve die. He would rather die instead of seeing Steve die, I think. So I think that situation with Steve and Dustin is either going to be Steve's going to die, saving Dustin, or Dustin's going to die, saving Steve. Hopefully they both live, because either death is going to be depressing, and I'm going to have to get a therapist or something. But I think like having one of those characters die, Steve makes the most sense, obviously, because Dustin's one of the kids. So I think Steve would die hero if he did die. Obviously, any of these guys who die is going to die hero, clearly. But I think if one of those, if Dustin or Steve die, it needs to be sacrificing themselves for the other one. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be awesome. Okay, now we got the deaths out of the way. Those, I don't think a lot of people are going to die, personally. Those are the people who I think could possibly die. I guess before we get into Will, we'll talk about who is not going to die, because I'm tired of seeing this. But let's just go over who I just said. I had Dustin, Steve, Max, and Murray, right? That's who I had. So 4 people potentially dying right there. Now, let's talk about who's not going to die, okay? I'm tired of seeing people saying 11's going to die. It's not going to happen. Not in a million years, okay? Number 1, I don't want it to happen, so I'm not going to say it's going to happen, obviously. I'm not going to manifest this to happen. Number 2, I don't think people realize, like, how loved 11 is. If she dies, like, nobody's going to like the ending of the show, no matter how it is, okay? She was a lab rat for 10 years, treated like shit, just to save the world, and you think she's going to die? No, okay? That's not how this story ends. That's not how this story is supposed to end. Even Millie Bobby Brown said she would love 11 to die because she thinks it would be cool, but she said it's never going to happen. Obviously, she's too loved of a character. 11 is not going to die. I don't want to see any comments saying that she is. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to happen. It's sort of like, this is off topic, but it's sort of like saying, and I got a lot of hate for this. I don't really care. It's sort of like saying Mike's going to turn gay for Will. It doesn't make sense. I love Will's gay storyline. I really do. I think it's been a great character development throughout, all the seasons. But making Mike gay for Will does not make sense. Mike is in love with 11. That should stay that way. You know what I'm saying? Now, this brings me to Will and why he's going to die. I think out of all these characters, if I had to pick one who I know is going to die, it'd be Will. Number 1, he's always been the outlier. He's always been shy about his sexuality, clearly. He's always been the one to not fit in. It started with him. He was possessed. He was left out. Never fit in. His friends left him for girls. All this stuff, right? He's always been the guy, the outlier. Always been the guy who was the outlier. So it makes most sense for Will to die, okay? And how he's going to die, I don't know. It could be him sacrificing himself. It could be him with powers and ending up saving the world, but him dying because he used all of his powers. It could be so many different scenarios, but it makes the most sense for Will to die. I know it would be a sad death. That's the point. It started with him. It'll end with him. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? And like, it makes sense because, like, you know, he'll probably confess his love to Mike, which is personally what I want to see. I don't want you guys to think that I don't want him to talk to Mike. I want Will to talk to Mike because I think that storyline needs to, you know, we need to see the ending. I don't think that storyline ends in them in a relationship, though. That does not make sense. I do not want to. I don't think that makes sense, okay? What happens to Elf in that scenario? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. So, I think it makes sense for Mike and Eleven to stay together, but then Will confess his love to Mike and then sacrifice his life. Personally, I think that would be awesome. I think that'd be a great ending. And yeah, I think well, either way, even if he doesn't confess his love to Mike, either way, like take the whole entire relationship in the gay storyline out of the scenario. Either way, I think Will Byers is going to die because it started with him, it's going to end with him. That makes so much sense. He's always been the outlier, and not even with his sexuality, just in general, he's always been the outlier. So it just makes sense. And I think the way he's going to die isn't like I've said this for every character, but he's going to die in a heroic way, obviously. Like, I feel like it like the Duffers said, Will's going to be the main focus in season 5. So he's either going to become a villain or he's going to, like, have powers and be alongside Elle, and it's going to show his entire storyline, and he's going to sacrifice himself. Or something crazy happens with him and Vecna, and he gets Vecna'd, and like he's in the Upside Down the whole entire time, and then he eventually just like has a sad scene to where he's looking at all of his friends, and then he looks at him and then turns his head, and then, you know, he just walks out into the abyss and sacrifices his lives, and then the show ends. I think that'd be pretty cool. But anyways, I just made that up in my head. Let me know what you guys think about this entire thing and who you think is going to die. I think these 5 characters, I'm pretty sure I mentioned 5 characters, are the most likely to pass away. Joyce is not going to die. Hopper's not going to die. Eleven's not going to die. It's not going to happen. The mom and dad of the show aren't going to die. Hopper and Joyce. It's not going to happen. Especially after faking Hopper's death. Eleven's not going to die because she's one of the most loved characters in fiction. And she spent her whole life in a you know, as a lab rat just to save the world. She's not going to die after she does that. And then the rest of the characters, you know the rest. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Who do you think? What is your death prediction? And I want to hear it. And I appreciate you guys, you know, dropping by this video. I appreciate all love and support. Let me know what you think about this and about my takes on it, and if you think they're valid takes. And yeah, guys, I appreciate all love and support. I'm going to try to make more TV show content. If you guys have any ideas for me, video ideas for me, please drop them in the comments below. I'm running out of theories, so Stranger Things content is not going to be here forever. So I need more content ideas. Would love to hear them from you. But yeah, guys, I appreciate all love and support. Make sure to drop like a video, subscribe, turn on notifications, spend time with your friends and family, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.